What's going on YouTube? Josh here checking in. So as you can tell from the title of this video, we're talking about PEDs today. Yeah, we're talking about steroids. So I just competed over Memorial Weekend in the USA PL, which is the major drug-free powerlifting organization in the United States, and they're affiliated with the IPF, the International Powerlifting Federation. So in that powerlifting meet, I wasn't really happy with my performance, but it was good enough to win first place in my weight class. So I was randomly selected to have a drug test. For me, I'm a drug-free athlete, so I don't, whatever, drug test me all you want. But that experience was a little bit interesting. So, you have to fill out all these forms, all this paperwork, and then you have to do a urine sample. When you do the urine sample though, they actually have somebody go into the bathroom with you and watch you pee into the cup. So I've been drug tested before for many jobs in the past because in addition to being a medical student, I'm also a paramedic, and obviously it's kind of one of those jobs where you get drug tested a lot. And in those drug tests, they kind of give you the cup and you go pee and then you give them the sample. But for this, they actually, have somebody go in and watch you pee. Not gonna lie, that was really awkward. So that was my experience with it. It's no big deal. The thing is that you kind of have to realize with this drug testing and, as much as, supposedly they do random drug tests and things like that, so, technically you would need to be clean all the time. If you know anything about how drug testing actually works, the bottom line is, it's not rocket science to basically pass these drug tests depending on what kind of, performance-enhancing drugs an athlete might be using. Like if you look at professional sports, the Olympics, all these things, college sports, bodybuilding. The bottom line is, as much as these things are tested, it's kind of a farce, right? And I'm not saying at all that all of the athletes who compete in these drug-tested federations are taking drugs. I'm not saying that. In fact, I think that the vast majority of the athletes who do compete in these drug-free federations, particularly for powerlifting, are actually natural athletes. And there's something to be said for that. They are strong as hell and they're not taking drugs. But to say that, this is the standard, I just think it's kind of silly because, the technology is just not there right now. To accurately determine if somebody's actually using performance-enhancing drugs. There's plenty of resources on the internet for people who use these drugs, how to basically get around drug tests and other things, not to mention the fact that there's a lot of politics and discussion over how random these drug tests actually are. I mean, in my case, I don't really care because they don't really, I'm a low-level local competitor. But for some of the bigger name competitors, you will hear in some of the powerlifting circles that maybe these drug tests might not be as random as they say they are, or that perhaps, that there's favorites and they might get a heads up to a drug test. Now, that's hearsay. I have no knowledge of that per se. I've heard that in powerlifting circles. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I certainly know that that is the case for some NCAA sports where I have friends who have competed at D1, and that's kind of how it goes. You say it's drug tested, but the bottom line is that this drug testing is really just not where it needs to be. So personally, do I compete in drug tested federations? Sure. I mean, I don't have any problem with it because I don't take drugs. I think it's a huge issue if you are taking performance-enhancing drugs and you're competing in a drug-free federation. That's ridiculous. I think you're a cheater, and I hope that you get caught. People do get caught for sure, but there are certainly people who are cheating the system, and that's bullshit. I don't think that people who use steroids are cheaters. If you compete in an untested federation, that's how it goes. It's a level playing field. Everybody has the opportunity to use performance-enhancing drugs. Do I think it's a good idea? Is it healthy? That's another topic, and it's not something that I think, if somebody were to do it, it's not something you should do lightly. There are some serious consequences to taking these substances, So if you're gonna do it, please be smart. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, it is what it is. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on it. If you guys have any thoughts about steroid use, performance-enhancing drugs in strength sports and powerlifting in particular, you know, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys. So if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you're not a subscriber already, guys, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in the next video.